All right. Welcome everyone to the sustainability and the economy, leveraging the power of businesses and consumers to drive a green economy. We're very pleased to have Joe Fleming here with us, along with Jared Russell. I am Carl Dans. I'm going to pretty much stop talking and let them take over from here with one final note, which is, as you think of questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. You can send your chat to everyone. That way, if people see that you've already asked the question that they were going to ask, that'll help facilitate things. Based on earlier sessions, we know that we're not going to get to all of the questions, so we will save the chat and follow up with folks afterwards. So with that, I will stop sharing and let you take over, Joe.
Thanks, everybody. Hi there. Well, I'm happy to be here on a Saturday. I'm going to share my screen here. But, since today is a day that I would normally be recharging my batteries, I am going to ask all of you to recharge my batteries for me. So I want to hear lots of chatter see lots of chatter. I want Jared to be busy in the background fielding all those questions. And even if you have to call me out on something, I love that too. Teach me something new. Let's make this really engaging and make it all about you and your experience too. So I'm here to talk to you about sustainability and the economy. And I swear I recognize some of your Zoom background. So I might know some of you. You might know me as well. Let's see how I got into this work. I've done just about everything in the environmental realm. I've done research, I've cleaned up sites, I've worked for big tech and biotech companies and worked for a public agency. And as soon as I started working on green business work, working with predominantly small and medium-sized businesses, I realized this can really make a difference. This can really take. And I've been doing it ever since, and it's my life's work. So I'm happy to share it with you today and share it with you in a broader perspective of how we can all vote with our dollars. So I'll start with that. Where you spend or store your money really matters. Whether you're really wealthy or whether you're, just getting started in your career. You can purchase local and purchase green. You can bank at a local bank account that doesn't invest in fossil fuels. Instead, they invest in your community. And you can also invest in the future you want to see. You can choose a 401k plan that, for instance, has sustainability and social equity in mind. You can also choose stocks that are more sustainable. You can invest in, groups and activities that are doing work. So where you spend or store your money really matters. Maybe you guys, if you have ideas of where you can put your money and things that you've done, steps that you've taken, put it in the chat because I want to hear about it. There's a few of them. Let's see, there's that we've done, my team has done. We started a 401k plan for my work team through Human Interest. They specialize in doing 401k plans that take into account social equity and sustainability. The best performing index on that was the Brown Advisory Sustainable Growth Fund that had a 25% return in 2020. I mean, where do you get that kind of return? So these are all, this is a smart choice with your money, a smart economic choice as well. And then of course, making sure that you are contributing to your small businesses that are really hit hard by the pandemic right now. There's nothing more important, to be honest. So if you can, patronize your small businesses instead of Amazon. Amazon will be fine. So I want to talk to you about third-party drivers for driving the sustainable economy. There are so many of them. How many of you are confused about all these different brands that are on all the boxes and store windows? I get confused. There's a lot of many respected certifications, but there's also like an equal amount, if not more, that are really greenwashed. They're unverified. They're self-certification programs and they're just marketing ploys. A lot of them are expensive. They're elitist. They're not available to a business in the Central Valley that's just getting started. So how do you scrutinize these different certifications and sustainability claims? Are they transparent? Are they verified? What's the expertise behind their sustainability certification? Do they have robust checklists? Are they meaningful? Do they make people do stuff to get that certification? And is there continual improvement along the way? And what about an expiration date? Because there's always backsliding. We're human beings. So you need to have an expiration date to catch and improve that. Is there an outrageous fee? Is it for profit versus nonprofit? The FTC is starting to crack down on some of these claims, and one of them was unfortunately a business greening certification where they charged a huge fee. They filled out a little form online and then they got their green certification. So it meant absolutely nothing. But there are some great ones out there. Here are some that I can attest to that I've helped work on. I've helped my clients gain these certifications. One is the Living Building Challenge. This one I'm following closely because I really just I think it's really forward thinking. It's easily the most robust certification I've seen out there. LEED is really well known. It's mainly pertaining to building sustainability, and a lot of us know about LEED. Green Seal, how many of you have seen Green Seal certified on some of your janitorial products? That's a way to know that it's safer for you, safer for the environment. So that's a great one. B Corp, this one is pretty comprehensive in terms of social equity and environmental standards. That's another great one that's getting started internationally, not just here in the US. And then Forest Stewardship Council, that's a great way to know about your paper and wood products. So those are all trusted certifications that they have a good reputation and a good backing. So another example of a robust certification, and I'm biased here because I happen to work on this team, the California Green Business Network. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and you guys can ask questions too. So what we do is we provide technical assistance to businesses. And we focus on small to medium-sized businesses because larger businesses have sustainability people like me on their staff. And they know that it pencils out, right? They know that they're going to save money. They know that consumers want this now. So they're going to do this no matter what. Small to medium-sized businesses, they don't know about all the rebates and resources available to them. So that we're providing that niche. We're being their sustainability person for them. We designed actionable frameworks. So we have 32 different sector checklists. We help municipalities reach their goals. So municipalities have climate action goals. They have waste diversion goals. They have air pollution attainment goals. So we help municipalities reach these goals. And lastly, we provide a green marketplace for consumers. So this is a trusted marketplace. I'm going to tell you where you can find out about it so that you can patronize some of our green businesses. So why green business? Well, it's a really powerful public-private partnership. It promotes sustainable business and it builds resilient communities. Our green businesses have largely weathered the pandemic and the fires, and I'm really hoping they all make it, and that we can continue to help them save on their utility bills month after month. So there's many reasons for why green business. We're in great company. We have 42 green business programs up and down the state. These are all locally run by local people. Over 4,500 recognized businesses now. We've always got a couple grand in the queue that we're working with. As I mentioned, 32 business sectors. And there's over 150 green business professionals working on our program. At one point, we tried to count the number of interns that have worked on our program, and it was just ridiculous because we have given so many people on the job training. which is great. And it always helps us make a better program as well. What we invented here in California has spread nationwide. We have a web-based platform where we track businesses through the program. And that web-based platform is used by 7 other states now. So we've got Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, Illinois, Virginia. I'm probably forgetting someone in there, but lots of states now are, copying what we're doing, and now they're innovating beyond us, and we're copying back from them. So it's another great national partnership. And so you'd think that one little small business, like picture your favorite downtown shop, right? Little mom and pop shop. They might have 1 bathroom. They might have like a little square footage shop storefront. And you'd think that them swapping out their toilets, putting in LED lights, getting their heating and ventilation cooling system serviced, you might think that that's not a big difference, right? Oh, and they also encourage their employees to bike and bus to work. So not a big deal, one little business. But if you add them all up, they make a huge difference. And this is what this is why we measure everything we do, because we're trying to make sure that politicians know that small businesses are really important part of the climate equation. So you might think that, we have cap and trade, which has grown California into the 5th largest economy of the world. We all thought it would wreck our economy, but lo and behold, it's grown our economy. So we've got these things that control larger businesses, but we can't leave small businesses out of the equation. We really need to bring them in. So what makes a green business? Well, we have sector-specific checklists. So what a restaurant does is different from what an auto repair shop would do, is different from office retail or a food manufacturer. But they all do these measures. They all reduce their water use, conserve energy, they look at a sustainable commute, they prevent pollution, they use less toxic cleaners. Sometimes we go into other greener chemistries with them. And they all divert waste and avoid waste. The certification process is pretty easy, but not that easy once you get down to it. So the business enrolls, they have a green business coordinator that works with them, walks them through the whole process. It's kind of a free technical assistance, if you will. Then we have other partners, utilities and water districts that have rebates and can provide other direct assistance to that business that we'll send out. The business gets a short list of what they have left to do, and they work on implementing that. And then we have a final verification process. And then we certify them and promote the heck out of them. And we try to get this all done within under 2 months, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer for some businesses. But that's our goal, is to get them through in that time. And these are our certification areas of focus. We look at a business's energy, pollution prevention, solid waste, transportation is a big one, wastewater, water, and community is another big one. Those are our 2 newest ones, the transportation and community, that we're focusing on. We have a really strong stakeholder involvement. And as you'll recall from the beginning that I said that this is important, that you need to know who the experts are behind that certification. And we engage all of these different stakeholders at the state and the local level in California, so that we make sure that what we're doing means something. We also have been making a big push towards equity. We do not want to be an elitist program. We want to make sure that we're attracting BIPOC-owned businesses, that we're reaching them from trusted community-based orgs in their community. So we'll actually fund these community-based orgs to do the outreach, and they can come up with better ideas that make more sense for their own community. We provide staff training and resources. We've even started doing prebates. So we recognize, as some of the businesses were saying, I don't even have the cash to pay out to get a rebate. And so we started implementing prebates, and we've translated our material into a few different languages now. And as a result, in one community of doing this work in the communities of East Palo Alto and North Fair Oaks in San Mateo County, we were able to sign up 60+ businesses through our community-based orgs. And so we're trying to replicate that in more areas of the state. So after a business gets certified, I mentioned we promote the heck out of them. So I encourage all of you to download the Shop Green app on your phone. Just search for Shop Green and you'll find it. And that's how you can find a business in your community. And hopefully we've got green businesses in your community. We're not everywhere yet, but we're almost there. We do a lot of Google advertising. Google was kind enough to give us an ad grant, so it's a lot. So we do a ton of Google ads. We also give businesses a promotional toolkit so that they can promote themselves. And we do a lot of co-branding with our businesses where, particularly around Small Business Saturday, where we will advertise them and a deal that they give consumers for Small Business Saturday. So I wanted to give you guys kind of a little bit of a flavor of some of the things that our green businesses have done. Here's one, Thirsty Bear Brewing Company in San Francisco. Many of our green businesses save money by the time we're done with them. They all, do different activities. Some of them are already doing a lot. Some of them start from scratch. We just meet them where they are and then get them through it. But a lot of what our food and brewery and wineries are doing is looking at their foodware. I'll just give you some of the more modern highlights. They all do the recycling and the chemicals, but the more modern highlights are looking at their foodware, composting on site, or making sure that they have a vendor to pick up their compost. This particular one purchased some greenhouse gas offsets for renewable energy. So there's, and then another one that we're just getting started on, and I'm really excited about it, is agriculture. We only just came up with our checklist. We worked with a handful of farms on this. And here's some of the things that we're going to be asking small mom and pop ag businesses to do. Many of you have probably heard of regenerative agriculture, where you're fixing carbon in the soil. A lot of ag can be powered by solar panels, so they can power their irrigation pumps, their cold storage, their packing line. And then irrigation pumps themselves can be retrofitted with variable frequency drives, weather-based sensors, so that helps them be more efficient. And electrifying. So electrifying forklifts. There's some great new EV trucks that are coming out. I'm excited to see that get taken up by agriculture and other industries as well. Last case study was lodging. We have a lot of certified hotels. So if you guys are traveling, but when things get back to our new normal, our new, more sustainable, more equitable normal, you guys can find green lodging hotels to stay in. And this one in particular is in Santa Monica. You can see that they worked with SoCal Edison. They worked with Green Guard for their carpet recycling. A lot of our hotels, they, those little annoying little bottles of shampoo and conditioner, they get rid of those and install ones that, hold bulk so that you're not wasting a lot. They all they put recycling in the rooms to collect recycling. So that's kind of what some of the changes that you'd see at one of the green hotels. So where you donate your money also matters. And hopefully, if you're in a position to do so, you're donating to some of the causes that need it most. We are a 1% for the Planet beneficiary. So if you are a 1%er, you can donate to support us. As I mentioned, almost all of our programs are free. Only 2 green business programs charge businesses a fee. We want this to be really attainable, and we want it to be equitable. So we do that through donations and contributions. And we are, for the first time ever, seeking corporate sponsors. So I've got a website up there if you're interested in partnering with us on that. We're happy to talk to you. And if you are a business owner, I encourage you to join one of our Sustainable Business Challenges to learn how. You can go to this Eventbrite, gogreennow.eventbrite.com, and we have a $500 rebate to get you started on any of the measures that you need to actually outlay some cash for. But as I mentioned, all of our green businesses save money in the long run. So please do join us if you're a business owner and learn how you can do this. The event says it's for the Bay Area, but it's for everyone. We have ones going on in the Central Valley. So please do join us at that Sustainable Business Challenge and we can get you started. So I'm going to circle back around to this because I think it's really important. So if I can leave you with anything today, it's to look at where you spend or store your money, and just, you don't have to do it all at once. I'm still working on, extricating myself from a big bank, and going to a local community bank. So just do a little bit at a time so it's not overwhelming. Maybe you do that one year, maybe the next year you look at your 401k. Maybe you start shopping only local and supporting local businesses. So that you can invest in your community, but see what you can do. And every year, just do a little bit more. So with that, I'm just gonna thank you guys. Thank you for listening to me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your time and consideration. And hopefully we've had some interesting dialogue. I haven't been able to follow it. But here's my contact information. Feel free to contact me.
Joe, that was fantastic. There is lots of dialogue coming in, so I'm happy to queue a few questions up with you. Great job. Everybody, I'm Jared Russell, co-founder, COO of Impact Tree, the moderator for the remaining bit of time. The one good question that came up, Joe, there's several, but the one I'll start with, as you know, with Citizens Climate Lobby, the organization is very focused on bipartisan solutions to climate policy at the US level, right? Mm-hmm. I got a question. What approach does Joe recommend when cold calling local small businesses to talk alignment on climate action and to begin a relationship that might lead to them joining and advocating on policy? Because one of the things that CCL encourages volunteers to do is reach out to, say, the local chambers of commerce and ask for endorsements to the carbon fee and dividend. So could you just elaborate a little bit on that, since it's like a bipartisan approach to climate policy?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great question. When it's funny because like the Sustainable Business Challenge, like we call ourselves a green business program, but calling ourselves a sustainable business program is more palatable to people who are more conservative. And by the way, our program you can make arguments for everything that we do it crosses the aisle, right? Because we're saving businesses money, we're helping them operate more efficiently, we're driving more clientele to small businesses that we can grow our economy. So that's one side of the aisle. The other side of the aisle is we are creating a green economy that reduces carbon emissions from small businesses, right? And so you have to kind of change how you talk about things a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can convince both. This is business efficiency when it comes down to it, right? And so you can convince a small business owner to make these changes. You can also convince leaders in a community to start a green business program. You might have to call it something different. You might have to, call it the Sustainable Business Challenge or business efficiency with resources or something like that. And I encourage you to be willing to shift like that and be willing to change the dialogue and the awareness, because if you do, you can get a lot done. And we actually have programs that are run by chambers. So the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce runs the program in San Joaquin County. The Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce runs the program in Fresno. So chambers love our program because they realize it benefits their members. So you need to find out what's in it for them. You need to start using their lingo and speak to what their needs are.
Perfect. And this is actually a great segue into speaking about needs. So Ashley Gower asked the question, or she said, I'm interested in seeing the ROI capture on sustainability initiatives, investments through a triple bottom line lens. Not just greenhouse gas emission reductions, but cost effectiveness, cost savings, profit gains, investor demand, et cetera. She goes on, but I can't start there. Joe, you have some responses for sure, but in some of the, like on our page, we reference, a recent IO sustainability study showed that CSR has incredible results on this front. For example, corporate social responsibility. Sales were enhanced by as much as 20%, productivity increased 13%, employee turnover was cut in half. So those are just some of the elements that I'll tee up for you, Ashley, to kind of think about, and I can share that report in the chat right now. And Joe, please elaborate on that some more, because I know you know a lot of the benefits that these small and medium-sized businesses, and frankly any business, will experience by this shift.
Yeah, no, you actually gave me a huge assist there. So anecdotally, our businesses get more customers. They say that they get more loyal customers. And so when we've surveyed them, I think it was, I forget the percentage. I wish I had the survey data in front of me. I should know it and be able to rattle it off. But I want to say it was about 60% of them said they increased business or gained more loyalty from getting recognition. So that, number one, customer loyalty is huge. And also your employees, you do have employee retention from making steps like this. We involve employees in our green business process. There's measures that say train your employees, reward them, incentivize them for making changes. So the employees do feel more engaged if you include them in sustainability practices. So that's, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, there's definitely, the triple bottom line thing. It's in the long run, businesses are more successful. And I will say that, without a doubt, our green businesses are more resilient and more successful than the ones that are not.
Absolutely.
But
perfect.
I don't exactly have data to back that up.
No worries. I dropped some in the chat for you just because I was prepping for this beforehand too, and it actually was perfect because I wrote some of that I didn't get to share earlier, so it's all good. And there's another. So who do you? And again, this goes back to, if we're putting on our, let's say, our employee hat, or we're putting on our advocacy hat on behalf of CCL and a policy. Where do we start? Like, maybe it's cold calling, but who's the strategic partner or person we might like that you're often working with within a small or medium-sized business that we might want to do outreach to around impact and community engagement? Are there kind of key folks that you normally liaise with in this effort? Yeah,
it's interesting because we developed, if you take off your environmental hat and put on your marketing hat, we developed these green small business personas. And, there's the, like, I don't have time, oh my God, I'm so frazzled, I have to do all these things. And then there's the like, what's the bottom line? What is this going to save me? What does it cost? I'm all about the money. And then there's actually like a greener than thou persona. And those ones are actually
like they feel like they have everything.
Yeah, like, we got it all under control. I don't need your help. I'm already doing all that. And then they see our checklist and they realize, oh, they're not. And they almost get defensive about it. They don't realize that it's a journey, not an end, a destination. Right. And so I think if you know those personas and you know how to speak to all of the personas, that's the important thing. There's no rhyme or reason to who we end up working with. The only strong thing that you need to know is that you do have to get leadership to buy in. Mm-hmm. So you might start with, it could even be like the intern at a company, right? Or a receptionist. And you might start with them. They heard about it. They think it's good for their company. They want to look into it. But you have to sell their leadership on it. So you have to help that person sell their leadership on it, because otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah, you referenced B Lab too, and I shared something recently. I'll drop it in the chat too. But this goes, I think, like you said, always kind of helping folks understand how it benefits them. And there's a stat here from B Corps that 71% of applicants attracted to our business because we are a B Corp. 64% believe being a B Corp is likely to contribute to their own financial growth, and 85% were encouraged to implement or formalize new policies or practices. So I just think, going back to your point, the more that we can meet these business leaders where they're at and help them understand their triple bottom line first, that this is just an additive. And I think that the real benefit to CCL is that we can always go in saying, this is a bipartisan solution that has bipartisan support on both sides of the aisle. So it's not, that kind of takes away some of the political elements of it. as a
Yeah,
policy?
it's interesting because so we did that survey that I mentioned. We surveyed businesses before they went through our program and asked them why they would be interested in our program. They said, I'm interested for the cost savings and the free technical assistance before they had gone through it. And then after they went through it, we resurveyed them and we said, why did you do this? And they said, well, it's the right thing to do. And now I know I have a place to go to learn what I need to do, what I can do in the future. And I don't understand why everyone's not doing this. So there is a transformation that happens there, right?
Well, Joe, thank you so much. Carl, I'm guessing we need to probably wrap up pretty soon. If we have more time, we can go over with more Q&A. So Carl, let us know if you'd like us to close the session now or keep going.
Yeah, we have 5 minutes left.
Oh, great, perfect.
So, but it's good to be conscious of the time, and definitely if maybe leave Joe a couple minutes at the end for closing thoughts. But yeah, if you have any more hot questions that you've seen in the chat.
No, I
It's so
think
good to see all the engagement here, you guys.
Likewise. Let's see, any other, oh, there was a question about circular economy, Joe, and kind of your thoughts on that. There was reference to the MacArthur Foundation. And so I'm just curious if you want to maybe elaborate sort of on maybe that thinking and how that's developing in California, and if you're seeing that becoming more of a trend more broadly, either in the state or nationally.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because we do not certify products currently, but we get asked a lot by our green businesses or, you know, manufacturers that want to certify products that are kind of following a circular economy. And there's other certifications for that, right? There's Cradle to Cradle, that is a good certification for a product. And just so everyone knows, this is the whole concept that, you know, it's no longer cradle to grave. So it's no longer all the resources that you extract and you put into a product, you use that product and then you throw it away. Instead, at the end of its lifetime, you reuse it and build it into a new product, and you plan that in advance and design it into the product. And I'm fascinated by it, and I think it's going to be a growth industry. Many of you have probably heard of Loop, who is trying to kind of engage this on a more circular level for our everyday products from, you know, everything for our households. So it might be something that we take on. I don't know. We'll see. We've been asked so many times now, and we usually say if a handful of people ask for it, maybe we should address it. So that's how we end up with new sectors.
I am curious, Joe, do you, let's see if there's some other questions coming in, but while I'm looking at these, do you have, you know, I kind of go back to the policy front for CCL. Are there any companies that come to mind that have navigated this space of advocacy internal to the company, like almost as where they are, you know, doing quite a bit, not just internal for making sure that their house is in order, you know, in terms of sustainability, but that they're able to kind of endorse bills or policies in a way that, you know, we can almost point to as examples?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to bet that we do have companies like that. A lot of our purpose-driven companies that are certified, I'm sure, are engaged at a policy level. And a lot of the times we put some of these, we have what's called an innovator tier. So you can get certified, but you can also become an innovator. And the innovator tier asks you to be more engaged in your community and demonstrate that engagement. And so I imagine the policy, engaging in policy would qualify for that. So we certainly have, the innovator tier was only put into play a couple years ago, and we've already got, I don't know, maybe I should check on I should have looked up some of these stats on our database beforehand, but certainly close to 50 innovators now in our state. And so those are the ones that are doing work in their community and engaging in a bigger level.
That's great. Yeah, I don't know if Lisa, if you could drop that in there for folks to see, but I think always looking to like models of what is working can be helpful when like doing that cold outreach. They can say, well, look at this company doing that. So it's I think that's really great, Joe. Let's see. I think that's all I have
I
for.
think that's, yeah, no, and timing is perfect. We're at the end of the session. Joe, thank you so much. That was fabulous. Really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And thank you to all the participants who joined us and asked a lot of great questions. As I mentioned, we're saving the questions because we couldn't get to all of them, so we will follow up. But again, Joe, thanks for making time on a nice Saturday afternoon, and I hope we succeeded in recharging you a little bit.
You charged my battery. Thank
We
you.
need you to come back, Joe, okay? And Jared, we need you back. We're going to do another session on this because it was so awesome.
Okay, absolutely. And thanks for all your hard work as well. Right back at you guys. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, we've got a 10-minute break, folks. If you're staying with us to join the farm panel or the farm discussion in 10 minutes, you can stay here. Else, if you're looking for another session, go to cclusa.org/CA if you don't already have the program schedule up. And we will start again promptly at 4:25.
Thanks again, Carl. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine if somebody has a quick question for Jared or anybody who's there while we're hanging out. We're fine with that.
I'm still here if anybody has questions.
Yeah, if you see anything in the chat, and Lisa, it looks like Lisa's still here too. So
yeah, actually, is Joe still there? Because there's one question I wanted her to answer. And Jared, thank you for taking all those questions and handling all that. Joe, oh yeah, so Joe, we did have a question from Susan Chang who wrote in the chat box about getting certified if you're in a state or in an area of California that doesn't have a program. So, and you mentioned the states that do have programs, but maybe you could just address if you want to become a green business, but you're not in an area that currently has a program. What can you do?
Yeah, we had businesses get really upset when we can't serve them. So we decided to serve all businesses. Unfortunately, if it's in an area where we don't have an established program, we do have to charge a fee because we don't have local involvement. So, and it's a nominal fee, and it's just to cover the cost of what it takes to verify and do the technical assistance piece. But you still have access to the $500 rebate. So I encourage you to enroll, no matter where you are in the state, and we'll be able to help you get certified.
Thank you. Excellent job today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
hey, and Jennifer, can you put